In this video, I'll be walking through how to check out a client and also make sure that client is exited from our project. So let's get started here. What I would like to do is check out Theo Epstein. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'll go to the same line with this client and click checkout on the left side. And that takes me to the standard checkout window. I'm going to leave this date as today. And then I actually just want to check out this one individual, Theo. So I'll make sure that he is checked under the household members. Click save and exit. Now that is a pretty standard checkout, and we can see that the bed that Mr. Epstein previously was assigned to is now available. Now, this is a good time to talk about the difference between exiting a client and checking them out from a unit in ShelterPoint. My client still is part of my project, and so even though I've checked them out of a unit, I also need to exit them from the project, or I at least want to do that in this case. So I'm going over to Client Point, where I'll search for my client in the same way. You can either search for the client's name, first and last name, or by client ID. So I'm just going to click search after entering their name, and here I can see my client here. I'm going to click on edit next to their name. This takes me to a summary of the client's profile. And what I'm trying to do is make sure they're exited from my project. So I'm going to go to entry/exit tab and find the latest assessment, which is All Chicago Emergency Shelter. There's no exit date, so that tells me my client is still entered into this project. So I'm going to click the pencil next to the exit date. I'll mark the appropriate reason for leaving for this client, and I'll choose an appropriate destination as well. I know that my client is going to come back, so I'll mark the appropriate destination and click save and continue. Now, I just want to make sure that my client isn't only checked out of a unit, but that they're also exited from my project. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this exit assessment by clicking save and exit. And since I see that my client has a exit date next to their name, I know that I've done this properly, and my client is not only checked out of a unit, but they're also exited from my project.